Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the upper tier. Just jumping on for a quick announcement there, a quick little episode. Manchester United have confirmed the appointment of Erik Ten Hag as their new manager. He will take over at the end of the season, replacing Ralph Radnick, the current intern manager. Um, so how do you feel about this, United fans? Sounds like you got the guy that you wanted. There wasn't too many beating the Pochettino drum. So yeah, you got the guy that you wanted. They've confirmed that he will on contract till June 2025 with an option to extend for a further year. He's 52 years of age. He'll become the second Dutchman to manage the club after Louis van Gaal and the fifth permanent manager since Sir Alex Ferguson retired in 2013. It's been confirmed that United have paid somewhere in the region of 1.7 million to release Ten Hag from his contract, which expires a year later. So this is the compensation they've paid to Ajax to release him. Just to get a quote up from himself, and we also have a quote from John Murtagh. Ten Hag said, "It's a great honour to be appointed manager of Manchester United. I am hugely excited by the challenge ahead. I know the history of this great club and the passion of the fans, and I am absolutely determined to develop a team capable of delivering the success they deserve. It will be difficult to leave Ajax after these incredible years, and I can assure our fans of my complete commitment and focus on bringing this season to a successful conclusion before I move to Manchester United." What we know, Ten Hag, we'll go down through some of the stuff that he's won, but we know that he was unlucky there on Sunday in the Dutch Cup. He lost 2-1 to PSV, and we know that currently in the Dutch league, he's 4 points ahead of PSV in the league, both with 29 games played. So the league is quite tight there as well. But it'll be interesting to see if he can run out winners and finish off on a winning foot, let's say. Um, United football director John Murtagh also added, "During the past 4 years at Ajax, Erik has proved himself to be one of the most exciting and successful coaches in Europe, renowned for his team's attractive attacking football and commitment to youth. In our conversations with Erik leading up to his appointment, we were deeply impressed with his long-term vision for returning Man United to the level we want to be competing at and his drive and determination to achieve that." So yeah, that's all very, very interesting, and it's all the right stuff that's being said. And of course, the timing of these things, as you United fans know, you come off the back of a really bad result or some sort of controversy or something like that, and then the club comes out with a nice little announcement to dampen things down. Now, there's no doubt, I'm sure the United fan base, you're going to be very excited. You are getting in a quality manager. There's no doubt about it. If you looked at the teams he's managed, 2012 to 13, Go Ahead Eagles; 2013 to 15, Bayern Munich 2; 2015 to 17, Utrecht; and 2017 to 22, 5 years with Ajax. In his time at Ajax, he's completed a league and cup double twice, 2018-19 and 2020-21. He's also in 2019, he won the Johan Cruyff Shield. And he could potentially add another league to that this year. Obviously, missing out on the cup last weekend, the PSV. But the real questions crop up on this. And we heard Ralph Rangnick the other day after the Liverpool game saying that there's issues sporadic throughout the club. I mean, we know that a lot of work needs to be done on Old Trafford, that there's some deterioration there and it needs investment. But Ralph also alluded to the fact that, if you look at the backroom setup, the medical team, the training facilities, everything he believes in his mind to return United back to where they need to be is substandard. And that the amount of players that he's dealing with at the moment that are out through injury, and he says when you compare that to Liverpool, who literally have a full squad and have been competing on four fronts throughout the season, United haven't been playing as many games, but you have so much more injuries. And he says that the whole area of sort of nutrition and sports science and all that needs to be greatly upgraded and stuff like that. So when you look at Ten Hag come in, I mean, obviously the questions that come out, obviously, will he have the experience to take on the mammoth task of restoring Man United to former greatness? And that's the real question. Balanced out by the fact that, I mean, obviously this whole squad needs an overhaul, but all the pieces that lead you to success need a massive overhaul between the coaching, between the medical staff, sports science, training, and the stadium itself. So, like, from top to bottom, it needs an overhaul. And he needs to be fundamentally involved in all that process in order to be successful. But the question is, will the board deliver what they've promised him to get him in the door, which has been the problem all along? I mean, if you look at the situation with most of the managers that have gone in there, it hasn't been their lack of ability to restore United to success. It's really been when they've gone knocking on the door and asked for certain things that they wanted, the board told them no. And then after which they went and did when that manager was released. Um, the perfect example obviously is Jose, he wanted Pogba gone. He felt he was poisoning the club. And he also wanted a central defender. And they said no. And then once he went, they went out and they did those things. Obviously, Pogba stayed, but I mean, that's resigned to history at this stage. But I suppose the other question that's there, I mean, obviously that link between himself and the owners. Are the owners really committed to restoring United back? Will they pump in the investment that's needed? Because the investment that's going to be needed here isn't going to be money that they'll just be able to leverage on debt with the club. They're going to have to put their hands in their own pocket. When you look at the size of this rebuild, Ralph Rangnick the other day was talking about somewhere in the region of 7 or 8 players, and maybe more. Who knows? And then the question is, how much time are they going to give? How much time are the owners going to give? How much time is the fan base going to give before they're looking around and they see City being successful, Liverpool being successful, Chelsea being successful? And then on top of that, as well, as you have new owners coming in, the likes of Newcastle, Arsenal, all these, they're all going to start moving up again. Tottenham, all these teams. So that top 4 is no longer guaranteed for some of these, especially for Man United. So they're going to have to fight their way into this. And is it a case that maybe it's a case where it's a year or two outside of Europe to slowly focus on the rebuild and focus on the league and all that kind of stuff? Or will there be greater demands there? Certainly looking from the outside in, you would look at the volume of players that they have to replace. Could take anywhere between 4 to 6 windows, I would imagine, because I don't imagine the Glazers are just going to open up a checkbook and bring in 4 or 5 players straight off the bat and stuff like that, regardless of the savings that they're going to make in the wage scales with the players that are leaving, because the level and the quality of player that they need is going to be substantially expensive, I would imagine. But yeah, they're the real questions that are coming out of this. Will the fan base stick with him? Will they see the plan as he tries to restore and put his own mark on Manchester United? Or will the fan base go in on him and not support him fully? Because in order for United to restore itself to its former glory or new glory, the Erik Ten Hag era, the fans are going to have to be behind it. The owners are going to have to be behind it. The players are going to have to be behind it. And even the players that are going to stay there, the likes of Bruno, who's on a new contract, probably David De Gea will stay there, Marcus Rashford, Elanga, all these players. Are they going to want to hang around on a rebuild that's going to take 3 years and absorb 3 years out of their career? That remains to be seen as well. So he has a huge task ahead of him. And certainly it's probably the biggest and most daunting job to be taken on in world football, I would imagine, in terms of the size of the rebuild and the restructuring of the club and all the other things that bring you along to the road to success that have to be rebuilt or torn down or reshaped or built from the bottom up. So it remains to be seen if he has the quality and the experience and the nous to stand up to the board when the board kicks back sometimes and says, nah. Or will it just be a case where he'll go, okay, and this will just be another statistic on the road to Man United post Fergie era? Remains to be seen. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments. Obviously, it's a really good day for Man United and Man United fans. They've got their man. So there can be no excuses now. The quality is there. The experience is there. It's time to rebuild the squad and bring in the right players. We know he will go and look at the youth and he will use the youth. So that can be only good for United, because past success will tell you that when they get a blend of experience and youth in there, that's when they're at their strongest. So let us know your comments down there. Let us know what you think. You happy with Ten Hag? Where you a Pochettino guy, and how long you think this rebuild might take, and do you believe the Glazers will back him 100% in everything they promised him to get him in the door, or could it potentially go down the road of previous managers? Until next time, on Twitter at the underscore upper underscore tier, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, the upper tier. And if you want to email us, the upper tier podcast at gmail.com. Audio versions show Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music. And we will back you again real soon.